Red Black Sabo is a very interesting leader, having the color combination of red and black. The color combination is not good. You want to minus cost while minusing power. Well, not in Red Black Sabo. Red Black Sabo has the gimmick that when a character would be KO'd if it has 5,000 power or more and there's a Dawn attached to your leader, it only loses 1,000 power rather than being KO'd. So I've put together a list here that I think is interesting, and it works in the OP10 format. So this is for my future players who get the ST21 starter deck with the 4-cost Zoro. We are playing a rush aggro strategy that goes straight to face as Revo Army does. So you'll see us use a lot of our red options today other than Gecko Moria and maybe a few others. So I hope you enjoy. This is my own custom deck list, so I don't know how great it is, but I think it's something we can work on down in the comments below. As always, join the Discord for the 500 sub giveaway that you've heard me talk about for way too long now. You can win a box of PBR or OPO9 in this tournament bracket format. 4 players will enter and only 1 will win. Thank you so much as always. Let's get to the deck profile. And here we go. I told you this is an aggro strategy with a little bit of customization here, being maybe Rayleigh and Gecko, of course. Everything else is straight to face, no other place. I think this is going to be a fun one, but I don't know how good it's going to be, guys. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm not expecting this to be a topping list or anything of the sort, but I think there's good options. Our rush options is what we'll start with. We have the Kid Killer, which is rush, and then when attacking, if your opponent has 2 or less life, this character gains plus 2,000 power, and it's a 4-cost, meaning that it can be played off of our Gecko Moria. Our next rush option is going to be the 3-cost Zoro, which helps us in our 3 Dawn plays early game in Zoro and Shiraya, being our main targets for our 3 Dawn plays. Usually this deck does want to go, I think, first, possibly second, so there's merit into maybe upping this to 4 and putting this down to 2 or moving this around, but we'll learn as we play. The reason we would want that is because we want 1 extra Dawn to put on leader, and we can get that out of this 5-cost right here, or playing our even curve and then putting 1 on leader, and we get that out of our 5-cost, which is another rush option in the deck, which gives 1 rested Dawn to our leader or one of our characters. So if we have the extra Dawn, we can give it to himself, or if we don't, we can just give it to the leader. With the leader effect being ×1 Dawn, as I said, all of your 5,000 powers would be KO'd once per turn. If one of your 5,000 power characters are lower or higher would be KO'd, you may instead just give it -1,000 power. This also works for battle and for KO abilities. Trashing, on the other hand, gets through this effect. We use this with combinations of very strong blockers like Shiraya, Borsellino, and Sabo that we can block out with for free if we have a Dawn on our leader, allowing us to save them from being KO'd, so we can block out of a 10k attack and keep our blocker on the board. As we run a lot of bricks in the deck, we obviously run the Bad Manners Kick Course, and then we run 2Ks of Brook, Otama, and our Revo Army Koala. The biggest one being Brook in my opinion, because we can use it on our 8 Dawn curve to still get the 2 Dawn on Sabo for leader effect, and then playing out a rush options from our trash. Our final 2 key pieces are going to be Karasu right here, which is if your leader has a Revolutionary Army type, which we do, on play, give up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters -1,000 power, allowing us to be very aggressive. And to finish it off, that is that Zoro I was talking about, that ×2 Dawn, this card gains Rush, meaning that we could play on 10 Dawn Gecko Moria, on 9 Dawn actually, Gecko Moria into Zoro and Brook, giving 2 rested Dawn here, meaning that this is swinging for 7, and we still have a Dawn extra for our leader. I think this combination is near perfect, but the on KO is the finishing point that I think puts everything together. On KO, you may play a red character with 6,000 base power or below, meaning that if our opponent does go for clearing our board and we already use this effect, we can then cheat out a 6,000 power or lower character, meaning we could technically cheat out Karasu on our opponent's turn for 1, giving their leader -1,000 and being a defensive unit using this effect. It also allows us to cheat out blockers, this Luffy, and many other options in the deck, being that our black options are the Borsellino, Sabo, and Gecko, and everything else is red. Like I said, I don't know if this will be the next meta threat, but I think this is a good way to move with the deck going forward, so I think it's something to test out, tweak, and comment down below what we should change as we go through the games. Anyways, let's get into some matchups, and let's have some fun in the OP10 format. Red Blue Marco's a deck I haven't seen in a long time. We're gonna give this a try, but I think this is the perfect counter to our deck list because it gives our opponent or our characters -2,000 power, meaning they don't hit that 5,000 power threshold. Jeez Louise. And I'm gonna keep this hand. I think this is actually a good hand because we have the Zoro on curve, so we can go 5 and 5. No, we won't be able to keep it as active, and you can see we don't play searchers in this deck, so there's definitely options in EVO2 to play the 2-cost searcher event, but I just don't know if we're there yet for this deck list. I don't know if that's what we want to do. They'll filter a card for their 1 Dawn on their leader, placing a card on the bottom, just getting to draw an extra card basically. So we're going to go 5 in a face. They should probably counter out of this one or take, and then they'll counter out of the next one. Either way, we're taking a card out of their hand or possibly even 2, which I'm okay with. We will probably drop the Zoro on the next turn, not getting rushed, but still giving us a body on the board to use, again, later or to use now. So they counter out with the Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman's actually really good in this matchup, in my opinion, so I probably would have kept that. They use the Pudding, knowing that we're not going to get a large hand size, or at least assuming that. They're going to give our Zoro minus 2k, probably putting a 2 cost to the top and playing out the 3 cost of Ivankov here, cheating out 2 bodies, and getting rid of our Zoro, which is kind of what we expected at this point of the game. Nope, looks like they're just going 7 into 3. I am not countering out of that. Even if I could, I would not. That would be a very large waste. They play the 2 cost of all, getting to stack the top 3 cards of their deck, choosing what they filter in the future, and there's many options here for us. We could go ahead and get the blocker. We're going to swing 6 at face. We know that. I don't think it's worth playing Sabo without getting the effect off, so I think we may go for the blocker here. The only issue is, again, they can minus the blocker down, but getting one down early will be better, and we don't want to let them know about the Kid Killer. This is our secret little option here that we don't want to let them know about. So when we hit the 7 Dawn curve, we can play the Roronoa Zoro, as mentioned before, put 2 Dawn on it, get rushed for 7, and then I'm like, hey, kill it. I still can put 1 Dawn on our leader. They're going to swing 8 at face, and we're just going to take that. We're not worried about it. We get double Karasu. They do play out the Ivankov, getting a 2k counter back to hand, and we finally find our piece we needed. So we are going to swing 6 and then 7, so we'll go ahead and swing 6 here. And now they have to choose between making this minus or making this minus, which I think they'll go for this, and they'll just swing face, as they did last turn. We play this down, and we put 2 Dawn on it, swinging 7. They should block out here, and then we pass turn. So they have too many cards for this Ivankov effect. They have to play characters. Oh no, this is 6 or less. Never mind. I thought this was 4 or less for some reason, but that is a different Ivankov. I think the other Ivankov is actually 3 or less. So it is what it is. They send a card to the top of the deck. They have 7 active. What do you do for 7 here? Do you Gravity Blade? That's actually really interesting. There's not much we can do against Gravity Blade. They get a free draw, choosing what they draw because they put it on the top, meaning they did not want to get rid of their cards, and forcing us into an interesting position because we don't have much to do on this next turn. We will counter out of this with a 2k, and I think someone's saying Gecko Moria. I think Gecko Moria is calling me. I think we will go 1 on leader. I like where this is going. We're going to go 6 at face here, and then we're going to Gecko Moria out the Zoro and Otama. Getting a bigger body on the board is going to be very good here. There probably is other lines, but we get to minus this by 2 and then swing 5 into 2. I dare you to give me 2 cards. They choose not to, of course, and we're sitting in a pretty safe spot. We have counter, we have blockers to develop, we have rush options to develop. I think we're in a good spot. They do have 9 Dawn though, which is really scary against a deck like Marco because they could play Rayleigh, which is something, again, we cannot counter. Rayleigh would be very good here. My personal opinion, Rayleigh would be very good. But if they're doing Rayleigh, they would have minus this down. So we're going to let the Zoro go again, but it's something we can always bring back. And they play the Red Rock, which is actually really annoying again. Oh my goodness. So we might double Karasu on the next turn. I don't think we're in a position to die, so I don't think we need to develop the Sabo yet. The Kid Killer is not active. We want to get them to the point where we can worry about stuff like that. So we're going to double Karasu, and then we're going to swing 7 into face here. So 7 into 3 is going to be annoying for our opponent. So they do go ahead and block her out, but we have amazing options in the Karasus next turn if we want to, and we put that kind of fear factor on them where we're like, hey, if you want to do this, you have to do this. So Rayleigh would be the perfect option. Newgate works as well. So we were only going to use 1 anyways next turn, I'm going to be honest with you guys. They play the VV to draw 2. They are playing in the EBO2 format, as all of us are, because in OP10, there's not just OP10, there's OP10/EBO2. They get to clear out one of our bodies, and we get to save it with our leader effect because that is a KO ability, which they did not think about. And we're going to take, because we're going to use this 2k Koala to kill this Newgate on the next turn. So we get another Sabo in hand, which is pretty good because now we have multiple Sabos in hand. We're going to play this out, -3. We're going to go 7 here, minusing 1 to the leader, so we can swing pretty aggressively there and force a lot of cards out of hand. So we're saying, hey, pick and choose your battles here, buddy. You have a 6k leader. I don't have to double Karasu. I could actually Sabo filter out my hand. I can actually drop down other characters if I need to. We're going to go 7, 6. We could go 6 here, just forcing out more cards, and then decide what to do. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go 6 into face, and then they're going to counter out. So we're going to go 6 again? No, we're going to go 6 into face here. This is going to look crazy, but now they have to take this, right? And it makes our numbers better here, because it would be 2 cards there and 2 cards here, rather than just 1 card here, right? Because then it would be only 2 cards, it would be 4 total. So they get rid of one of them, but we still have this to rush in and swing 7. So they shouldn't have it, and we should be able to pass here pretty safely. They can't clear our board with any of their characters. We have a solid 5k counter. I think we're sitting in a good spot. Again, the only issue is they put us under this threshold every single time. We do have 2 really good targets though, because we do have the Karasu, we do have the Kid Killer. Marco, what do you do? So he is choosing to worry about the Karasu more than anything. They could also rally us, which is going to be very bad. Giving this -3, probably clearing the bigger body and swinging 2 here, and then still putting aggression into face. I would have just swung the 2, honestly. But yes, you got that. I'm not going to sit there and say anything, because I can't. We need to filter through and see what we can even play first. We do get Shariah, so we'll drop a Sabo, and I think we're going to drop a Bad Manners Kick Course. I was like between the 2, so technically we could play out Brook and then Shariah, putting 2 Dawn on leader and swinging 7 at face, which I think we will. They have a Radical Beam, it looks like, so we're okay with that. We're just getting bodies on the board. We're going to swing 7 into face here. We have a blocker, we have Dawn on our leader, so it puts them in an interesting position where they may even have to go for lethal. They have Love. Oh, they have Slave Arrow. That's criminal. That's crazy. So we should be pretty safe here with the Shariah. Thankfully, now we have double blockers, so if they want to stack a ton of Dawn or play aggressively, they get another draw 2 with the Vivi, which is getting wild. I did not expect that. So they now play Jozu, bouncing our Sabo to hand, putting 1 on leader, minusing the Shariah, only swinging 6, meaning they can go 6 in a face, which we won't have to counter out of, thankfully. But they do minus down the Shariah. We're going to take the 6 and probably block out of the next one. I think it kind of depends. We get an Otama now, which Otama's not going to do much for us. We're just going to block and let it die. I think that's the best option at this point. We could go for the board. We could go into face using the Koala here. I think we have to clear out the board. Minus that, we know we have 5 for Sabo, so we can go 8 to 5, or should we go 7 and bluff a character? Because either way, it's going to be 2 cards. So we'll go 7, because now we can also go into our Brook as well if you'd rather do that. It's going to give us options. So it looks like no, we'll play this, draw 2, trash 2, where we will trash another Sabo, and I think we're going to need some kind of rush option. I think we have to win on the next turn, guys. So having at least the counter and the Borsalino, I think, is the best here. And we have the, or not having the Borsalino, because now at least we have 3k here. So we have 2-2-1 basically, which I think puts us in an okay spot where they can't just win the game here. Even if they red rock down this Sabo, we could take the life. It all just depends on how they do this though. They play Ben Beckman to trash the Sabo, and they should just swing face here. They play Vivi again, which I did not even think about. Vivi being very obnoxious. We have to, we could take and then force in next turn. Look for a better rush option, which we get, thankfully. So yeah, we're gonna have to counter out of this one with a 0 cost and the Zoro. We just needed to see if we needed the Zoro or not for the rush. So how do we win this? 7, 7, it's like a plan to me. 7, can you get out of 7? We could also go like a bunch of 5s, but I don't think it matters. I think we just lose at this point. The Marco definitely cooks against this deck list. We're gonna go, we can't even go 7 again. I think we just lose. I think so. GG's, you got me. They just win. There was nothing we could do. They also did have the counter in hand, so it's not like we could have done anything in the first place. GG's, on to the next one. Looks like we're going to take a Enel on in this next one, which I think we actually have a fairly solid matchup into. We're going to mulligan that hand. I don't like all the 2Ks. I'd like a little bit more stuff to do. They take the first curve, so we're on second. So we can play out the Zoro on curve, which I think is okay. And I think we will just stay aggressive here. I don't think we're really stressed about anything else. On 2 Dawn, we just pass. There's nothing for us to do. We'll get to draw an extra card. We're going to give them a bunch of cards in hand, but that's okay with me. We'll swing 5 in the face here. Not too stressed about it. Now we can Zoro here and just pass turn. If they do clear this, we can cheat out an Otama. Tell me that's not crazy. You can cheat out Koala or Otama, minusing our opponent's character. It's pretty good. They're playing the long haul here. They don't have the Gadatsu, which is very good for us. We could technically go very aggressive still. Playing out Karasu, going 5. Ooh, he's on opponent's turn, so I guess it doesn't matter. We're going to go 5. Oh, we took on 6 and 6, but I don't think it mattered. At the end of the day, we were doing the same thing either way. So they have a ton of cards in hand, but we have a very developed board. We have Dawn on our leader, so they can't just clear this out for free or even use abilities to do so. So unless they have something to trash the Zoro, but it's like, I dare you to Raigo this. Then it's pretty easy to get out of. We do have the Rayleigh for late game. We have the Gecko Moria. We just don't have ways to trash cards, which I think is the only issue at this point. And we can actually get out of this very aggressively here, because they're only going to be able to swing 7. and we will counter out because we don't have anything to cheat out anyways. So I think we will just go ahead and double 2k and feel good about it too. It gives us options, you know. We're gonna go ahead and swing 7 into life, making your leader a 4k. We can also split between the characters. We can basically do whatever we want here. I guess he is in a safe spot, but he's forced to go into 9, which means they will be... Let's math this out. We need to get 3 swings in because they have the blocker, right? That's gonna get the most cards out of hand. So let's just go 6 to start, getting 2 cards out of hand here. And then we should go 6 again, and then 6 again. We could also just develop the blocker if we'd like to. It really depends, because we're going to force cards out of hand here. They could get a trigger. That's what yellow does. And even if they do, we're kind of okay with it. Bruh, 0 cost event is wild. 0 cost event is actually crazy. So this is going to be the best way to possibly force cards out of hand, or maybe get the blocker now, because they're like, oh, you can't even swing again. So they could give us the blocker. They just take. Thankfully, they don't get a trigger this time. We're going to swing 6 again. And again, we're just playing very aggressive here. Like, they have a way to easily clear our board. They have to swing our bodies. So we'll pass turn there, getting 2 cards. They are going to 9 cost Yamato. 9 cost Yamato probably clearing out the Karasu, which I think is the best option for them, which we will leader effect. And then they will swing 5 and 5. We can get out of 1, so we'll probably just let the first one go through and then counter out of the next body. They are starving us out, but that's what Gecko Moria is for. So we can always Gecko Moria. We will use the card action, saving Karasu, and then we Gecko Moria on the next turn. So we'll let this one die because we'll counter out of this one with the 1k Sabo. We could always actually counter out with the 2k here. We're going to give him the 1 cost Sabo. I don't think we need it at the moment. And Rush Luffy's pretty good too, actually. Do we care about this? Karasu would be solid though, and we'd be developing bigger bodies and more board, right? Because we don't have a way to get through with the Shirahoshi, so I like Gecko Moria, I think. I like Gecko Moria. We're gonna play that into Karasu and Otama. Otama given -2 here, Karasu given -1 to leader. So if we need to, we can always, you know, kind of split into the character rather than their life. So we can go 5, 6, 6. We'll go 5 with this because if they KO this, we get to cheat out the Luffy. So we're okay with the trigger on the Zoro. And that's why we're swinging with this Zoro first, because you're not going to kill the already rested body. That wouldn't make sense, right? So we're going to go ahead and swing 6 into... If we swing 6 into face, they can still save their life with the blocker here. So we definitely want to clear this out. So I think 6 here is going to be the better option. And then we just put a Dawn on leader and pass turn, I believe. So yeah, that's what we'll do. We have 2k counter. We still have a rush body, and we did get the Karasu back and the Gecko Moria. They should play a 10 cost ace here, so they should go 5. We counter. They swing 9. We save it, and then they go 10, and they clear out one of our bodies. Usually being the 3 cost Zoro because they're the same power. So yep, again, counter out, kill, or save, and then 10 drop ace kills. That should be the best option for them. We do have rush options though, and we have some big bodies on the board. So even if you want to clear this one, it's okay with me. At this point, like I said, I think we have a pretty good matchup here. Again, we take, use the card action, it's -1k, they 10 drop, they get 2 life, and I think we're okay with that. We could always drop Rayleigh just to go big and bold. Pass turn after that, forcing them into our life. They 9 drop Yamato instead of that, not being so bad actually. So what do we do here? Do we give them a 3rd life? That would be a lot of card draw. Just getting the Shirahoshi out of the way might be good though to finish off the game on the next turn. So let's see. They have 1 active. I don't think we're worried about that. Let's go in for 5. See if they take. They should take here, I would assume. So we'll just have to see what they want to do. I think we're going to play into what they think we might do. 10 drop Shanks would be really good here, guys. I think 10 drop Shanks is definitely something to look at in the future for this deck for sure. So they get damn punked, draw 2, trash 1, dropping the ace. See, they could have aced on us last turn. We're going to swing 5. They're going to counter. Yep. We are going to swing... We could also Rayleigh, give them an extra life. Ooh, I like this actually. Oh, yeah. -3, -2, KO. Give them the extra life, so now they don't get the life gain from the future swings. Now we can go 11 to 7 here, and then 5 in life, right? So they should, oh no, into 6, my bad, yeah. And we will still go 5. Actually, no, we should not have gone 5 right there. Let me tell you that right now. Misplay, not correct. We should not have swung into life. Yep, not smart there. Place 1 cost stage. Ooh, they're playing into the Blackbeard matchup right there with the Braham. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that was a misplay and a half. Let me tell you that right now. Should not have done that. So now it's like, what do you want to do to me? 5 into a character. So the issue is 10 drop ace, right? If they have another one. So if they 10 drop ace, they gain a life, and then they can swing 10 here and we can't save it. So do we let this go and not counter, or do we let it go? Because then if we let it go and use the effect, Braham swings into it. So then it's still the same amount, but it's just using this guy. It's actually getting value out of this, right? So then they go 7 here. We cheat out this body. We have the 2K in case they go into the ace. I think that's the best option. So we just let that go. We don't have a Dawn on leader. We didn't think about that. So we'll just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. They go 7 here. We use this out. We're still pretty safe. And then they should 10 drop ace. We counter out. And then we have to go for lethal on the next turn, I think. Again, swinging that last one, I don't think that was correct. But we have bigger bodies on board. We do get the free Dawn. They play Katakuri instead. Are you serious? And a Shirahoshi? Are you serious? We can go 11 here. And then we could go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, they're putting us in a bad spot. Because we could go face, but then they just block out and they gain a life next turn. We could go for blockers. We could also literally just do nothing. Could draw 2 trash 2. And then we could draw 2 trash 2 again. We could just go a little wide and then just force them to be like, hey, I'm going for lethal next turn. Brick. There we go. Pass. Call it a day. So now we have 5 swings going in at them. They don't have a way to KO any of our bodies. And so we should feel pretty safe here. They want me to block. Not going to happen. Give me cards in hand. I'm going to eat these cards up. You need to start swinging my face because I'm presenting a very strong lethal option here, and you definitely know that. So the issue is they technically have like 5 now because of the Shirahoshi blocker. So we need to find a way to kill the Shirahoshi. We don't have many KO targets, but then that still gives them an extra life. So it's like, no matter what you do here, you're not sitting in a good spot. So, oh, wait a minute. Let's think about this. 6, 6, 6, Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria plays out Kid Killer. Okay, I think we got this. 6 in a face. We just need to hope for no triggers. That's literally all we're hoping for, or just a bricked up hand. So we're going to force them to counter all of this, and I think the Gecko Moria is going to save us in the end. They get the Nami, which does suck. A lot, actually. Because we're getting this into this. So we could Gecko Moria to this and this, giving us 2 Dawn here. Meaning we swing for 7. 7, I don't know if we present lethal at all. Because they take, yeah, we have lethal. Because they cleared out that Luffy. Because they cleared out that Luffy, we now don't have lethal. We were so freaking close too. Now they clear our board, cave us in. This just pisses me off, man. Because now we go 8, they just block out. Then we go 9, they take down to 0, and they just gain life next turn. Like, it doesn't do anything, man. I hate Enel. Ah, that sucks. Because they got a stupid trigger of to kill the Monkey D. Luffy, we just lose the game. Literally just because of that. I hate Enel. I hate Red Black Sabo now. We were doing pretty good. We definitely have, I mean, we still have options. There's tons of game to go because it's Enel. There's always a lot more to go. They may even have a trigger here. I'm telling you, if they have a Veggie trigger, I'm going to be so angry. I'm going to be so flabbergasted. They don't use it, and then we go 9, and they have to give us a Shirahoshi. We go ahead and get rid of it at least. So they have to play life gain here. They can't go for lethal, I don't think. I mean, honestly, they could just swing 5. If we counter, they just go for our board. Yep, you got it. I think they just go for clearing board like they're doing. Because, what? They would swing all your big swings first? Nope, that was wrong. No matter what, you still clear out everything. So we'll save it. No matter what, we're just not getting cards from life. They wouldn't swing our life anyways. They have to play life gain here. So, plus they're probably playing a rush option. We're just putting them in a position where 10 goes here. 8 goes here, 9 goes here. They clear everything out guaranteed, and then they also get to hit us if they want and gain a life. Meaning we need a rush option off the top. Because even if we save this, it still dies, right? So no matter what, they play 10 cost Enel. 10 cost Enel does suck. It does actually suck. We need a rush option off the top. That might be all she wrote. That might be all she wrote. Let's math this out. This is 6 Dawn for 7K. That would mean we go 7, 7, 9, 9. We have to hope 7 hits here, and they don't get a Veggie trigger. If they can counter out, they should. Now we go 9. I guess we're going 7, 9, 9. Because now they need a 0 cost event to not lose if they don't have the counter. This was a tough matchup, man. This was tough. I think there were I think you have to play it totally different. I'm raging. I'm raging so freaking hard right now. Perfect 10K counter? That's crazy. That's insane. That is the strength of Enel and why I think it just keeps off meta off the tournaments, like off game. You know, 9, take, can't counter out. 9, take, can't counter out. Even if we had this trigger, it doesn't do anything at this point. This is no counter. 11, yep, you gain a life, we get it, cool. Finally get my Gecko Moria back. Yeah, I have a perfect counter, don't worry. GG's. 15 minutes of my life wasted on a damn Enel game, man. Guys, after an Enel game like that, where he doesn't even say GG at the end, I can't even put it together. Like, that's Enel players being Enel. I can't even do another game. Usually, you know, 3 games. Not for this one. Red Black Sabo's a lot of fun. I think this is a good direction to go, but I don't think it's there. It's definitely not there. So, let me know where we can go in the future maybe with this in the comments below, because personally, I'm lost. If you liked, as always, like, subscribe to Discord for the tournament and all that good jazz. Talk about One Piece, all that stuff. Join the One Piece family. I love you and your mama. I got so tilted, man. That was so annoying. With the Red Black Sabo deck, though, I do think it's a good deck. I'd be lying if I said that. This deck, honestly, just kind of sucks.